Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Game Day with Heavy Cardboard, where we teach, play, and discuss medium and heavy strategy board games, war games, 18xx. Tonight, looking forward to bringing you guys Ragusa, designed by Fabio Lopiano, and published by Capstone Games, as well as Braincrack Games. Fabio, for those that don't know, also designed Kalimala, which came out last year or year before. Wow, time's moving fast here, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah, last Essen it was.
Yeah.
Capstone Games also very kindly provided us with this review copy as well as the sponsor playthrough, which helped make tonight's stream possible. So thanks to Clay and everybody over at Capstone Games. That said, this is a really nice prototype, but it's a prototype. It's currently available on Kickstarter, so hopefully tonight we'll be able to help you and your group decide whether or not this game will be a good match for y'all. So welcome everybody watching live around the world as well as after the fact. I'm your host, Edward Euler, joined by mostly familiar faces and one new one.
Jess.
Mark.
Martin.
All right, so before we get started, big thanks to all our patrons, all 744 of them there, help make this possible. Special shout out to Chris M for supporting the show. Seriously, without you guys out there, really, really appreciate it over at pledgehc.com. That said, Ragusa, you and I have played this a number of times.
Yes.
Correctly, mind you. The first time, not so much, but that's normal a lot of times.
It was just that we did the heavy variant.
The heavy
as
cardboard
you do.
variant. Oh, you ain't lying. Seriously.
We made it very, very
right.
hard.
And then yesterday morning, the three of us, along with your partner, we played this 4-player. And Mark, you get to be the guinea pig tonight, learning on stream for your first stream.
Lovely.
So yeah,
It's going to be a great teach. You'll have no problem.
the teach should be relatively quick. We're talking 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to take the cameras down and the chat down as I am wont to do during that so you guys can focus on it. There is one difficult thing for me to grok, and that is the main core concept of placing buildings. So I'm going to show a lot of examples of that tonight, so be with me, or bear with me. And so if I drive that point home a little much, it's just because it was really hard for me to understand it. So I imagine maybe there's one or two of y'all watching. That'll be the case as well. Last thing before we get started, remember that this is a prototype. So the graphic design and the artwork already has changed from the version that we are playing tonight. And all of that is still subject to change, same with rules, et cetera, et cetera. Go take a look at the Kickstarter for all those updates. Also, Clay from Capstone Games and Lewis from Braincrack Games, I saw were in the chat earlier. Yeah. They're going to be here tonight. So if you have any questions about the Kickstarter, refer it to them. As far as the game, that comes to us. That said, you all ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So that said, Ragusa time.
Ragusa, which is now called to Dubrovnik, is a maritime republic and Mediterranean port that sees thousands of ships pass through its walled harbour. Here, in the midst of the 15th century, Ragusa is at its peak. It is a sole rival to Venice as a trading gateway between the Eastern and Western civilizations, a neutral zone where merchants from all corners of the globe come to show their wares. But Ragusa is nothing, and was nothing, without you, the builders. By strategically building lumber mills, vineyards, towers and warehouses around and within the city, you built and must continue to build the foundations of wealth and commerce that will be this city's legacy.
You know, I got to be honest. I lost my place after that. I was just listening to the dulcet tones.
Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, sorry.
Nothing like a British accent, eh?
I know.
It always impresses the colonials if you give them a British accent.
I know, seriously, it really does. All right, let's get to it. So, kind of a high-level overview to begin with. In Ragusa, over a set number of rounds in a 4-player game, that is going to be 10 rounds, players are going to build Ragusa in the 15th century by strategically placing houses Out here on the board, we're going to gain access to resources and produce commodities to trade for other goods and victory points. They also gain points by building walls and towers to defend the city. The winner is the player with the most victory points at the end of the game. Hey, it's a euro. Shocker. All right, so that said, let's go over what you guys are looking at to begin with. So here on the main board, you'll see you have a victory point track around the outside of the board. Then there is a 3 commodities track at the very top of the board. The wine, olive oil, and silver, or silver bars tracks. Then we have the ship market, which is down here at the bottom. There are 5 ships, as you can see. The building cost reminder over here for when building a house. Then there is a fish conversion chart, which obviously I'll explain all of this here in a little bit. But the main part of the board is the city and countryside of Ragusa, which are split into 19 hexes, each with a resource or a city building, okay? So I'm going to zoom in during the main teach of this to be able to drive all these points home. Off board, we have the bonus deck right here, which are in-game goal cards. We have the ship deck, which is going to be used to replenish the ship cards. And then we have the wall pieces, and everything out here on the board is just set up for some examples. So the wall pieces will be off here. Then over here on the player tableaus, you have the 3 commodity tracks, which correspond to the wine, the olive oil, and the silver bars, and this is what the individual players will track. Then also there are the 6 resources. At the top you have grapes, olives, and fish, and at the bottom you have wood, silver ore, and stone. Everybody also has the 6 resource cards, which are going to be used to mark how many of a given resource that we have. There are X number of houses in a 4-player game. Again, there are 10. And then there are, I think there's 15, but there are a plethora of towers in your player color, all right? So the game is played, as I said, over a set number of rounds, with players taking a single turn in clockwise order. And on that player's turn, they're going to place one of their houses or their buildings into an available space on the board. So now we're going to go ahead and zoom in to right there, so we can focus on the actual building spaces in the main city of Ragusa itself. So there are, anywhere you see spaces like this, are building locations. Out here on the outer edge of the city, you'll notice that there are kind of odd-shaped building spaces. The reason for that is space for a build or a house and for a tower to potentially go over it. Black on black's a little hard to see, I get, but just know that there will be spaces for towers on the outside of the city going all the way around here, which are broken up by the city wall pieces here, and spaces for buildings out on the countryside as well as here in the city. As I mentioned earlier, the board itself is broken up into hexes. So let me go ahead and we'll talk about this hex for right now. You'll notice that it has a hex, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 building spaces. So even though it doesn't have a line around it, I'm hoping that everybody can see that each of these spaces out here is broken down into hexes. There are 3 at the top in the countryside, there are 4 in the countryside, 2 more in the countryside here, 3 city in the middle, 4 city in the middle, and 3 city in the middle. So you're going to place a house. Oh, my bad. There we go. You're going to place a house on that player's turn in an available space on the map and immediately activate whatever borders on all sides of their house, be it resources up here in the countryside or fish in the city, or the actual city building actions, which every city building has a different special action that we're going to be taking advantage of. After that player gets their resources and activates any or all city buildings adjacent to it, it's the next player's turn. Turns continue until all players have placed all of their houses, then the game ends. Final scoring, and whoever has the most victory points wins. So normally I go into how to play the game, but before I do that tonight, I want to cover some really, really important concepts here. First off, resources are not consumed. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this blue house right here. If blue placed this house, they immediately gain access to 1 wood, 1 stone, and 1 silver ore because it borders all 3 hexes. Is that clear to everybody here at the table?
Yes.
Okay, so in that case, because those commodities are not consumed, we're going to mark, so that was, in this case, if I were playing blue, that would be 1 wood, 1 silver ore, and 1 stone, like so. Okay. Now you could do it to where whatever's facing up shows that, but I find it easier, thanks Jess for this suggestion, to tuck them under, and that shows how many of whatever it is I have. So I will never lose these resources ever, ever, ever. There is one exception to that rule, and that is fish, because fish you can then convert here into other resources. I'll explain more about that later. But just know that when you get a resource, you keep it like luggage forever. Okay? So that, important concept number 1. Important concept number 2, commodities are consumed when they're sold to the ship market or the wharf. So as I produce, obviously olives turn into olive oil, grapes turn into wine, olive oil turns into oil, and silver ore gets refined down into silver. So as I do those things, as I acquire those, as I get rid of them, these will drop down until possibly I have nothing left. So those you can spend or get rid of, whereas resources you cannot. So resources keep, commodities you are disposable. Then requirements for placing a house must be met after placing the house. So that said, let's go and talk about placing houses, since that is the core concept of the game. So there are 2 types of areas. There are rural or countryside areas, and then there are city locations. In the countryside, it is 1 wood for each of that player's house in the hex that they just placed in. A max, if you will. So as if this were my very first house placed, when I am finished placing, ignoring everything else underneath my hand here, this yellow house, when I place that, I must have access to 1 wood because I need 1 wood at the end of building that house. When I place this, I will have gained access to 2 wood and 1 stone when placing it. Okay, so I would then mark that 2 wood and 1 stone down here on my player board, and that's that. Okay, easy enough. On a subsequent turn, maybe red came over here, we have no impact on building requirements of other players. It's only your own pieces. So I had access to 2 wood when I built that. So then, if I come over, and let's say for argument's sake, I then build that house there. I then look at all of the hexes that is touching. This hex of stone over here, this hex down here of olive oil, and this hex here of silver ore. How many yellow houses are in those hexes total? 1. In any one given hex, it's 1. So how much wood do I need access to? 1 wood. It doesn't matter that there are 2 yellow houses on the board. This has nothing to do with this. When I finished placing it, whatever the biggest number is of a hex that is in, that's how many wood I need. So 1 wood and 1 wood when I placed it. If I choose to place on a subsequent turn this house there, all of a sudden I now have 2 houses in this hex. I have 1 house or 2 houses in this hex, ignoring this one, we'll call it 1. And then over here on the silver ore, there are 2 houses there. What is the largest number that I just said? 2. Therefore, how much wood do I need? 2. I had access to 2 wood. That's legit. Does that make sense? All right, if I wanted to place, let's say I wanted to place a 3rd house here, I could not do so because at the end of placing this, I need access to 3 wood because there are 3 houses in this hex. I have access to 2 wood. Ergo, I cannot build that house in that location at least. If I wanted to build it, say, over here, I now have access to 1, 2, 3, 4 wood. I'm good for days. Okay, so then on a subsequent turn, I could then build that, and I actually could build that. I now have access to 5 wood, et cetera, et cetera. Does that make sense? I realize I'm driving this point home, but this is really, really important, and this tripped us up our first game. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, so that said, that's for building in the rural or countryside hexes. Now let's go ahead and talk about the city hexes. So ignoring everything else here in the city, if I wanted to go ahead and build over here, there, I would then have access to these 2 buildings, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but also access to olives. But to be able to build that building at the end of my turn, because it's in the city, on the edge of the city, and on a countryside, I need access to 1 wood and 1 stone at least. This house already provides that, 2 wood and a stone, so I'm good to go building that, okay? To be able to build, say, this house here, this is now my second one in this hex. I would need access to 2 wood and 2 stone. 2 wood, 1 stone, and another stone right here from that house. So I'm good to go. But to be able to build, say, this one, I would now need 3 stone. I misspoke, by the way. This actually would not require a wood. I'm sorry, that would be 1 wood and 2 stone. This one here, our requirements now are a total of 3 stone to be able to build this house. I have access to 1, I have access to 2. I cannot build that building in that location. Cool?
Okay.
All right, so city, stone, countryside, wood, edge, both. Okay. Simple concept, but critical to understanding the game. So that's placing a house, okay? So when a player places, we do exactly as I said. Whenever you place, you're going to get whatever resources they are if you're out there on the countryside or bordering a countryside location. And then if you place here in a city location, say right here, I would get 1 olive, and then I would have my choice of activating any of these buildings, or I will activate them both, but it's my choice in what order to activate those buildings, okay? So that said, let's go ahead and talk now about the city. There's no questions, I assume, about the different resources. I should also point out that each resource is double-sided, so I could get up to 4 fish on that side or flip it over to a total of 8. So you're capped at 8 resources for whatever that is, unlikely to ever reach that number past. Oh, yeah, we've yet to see it. So let's talk about the city now. 8 of the 10 buildings are going to trigger other buildings in that hex, okay? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 buildings around the outside of these. All of those, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit further to go ahead and show. The iconography here has already changed, and the graphic design has already changed, so understand that this is a prototype, okay? So right above, or right below where it says architect right here, you see this little circled arrow. This shows that in clockwise order, when somebody places a building here, they're going to activate this building eventually. And when they activate that building, any other subsequent placements of houses will also activate. So placing this here, get 1 olive, and then I would activate the winery and architect in whatever order I chose. If I activate the architect, I do what the architect says for this building here. Then in clockwise order, green, or Jess in this case, would also activate the architect. Then yellow again would activate the architect, and we would come back around, there's no one else, okay, boom, the architect action is done. Then we would move over to the winery action, and you'll see that no one is in that, so I would be the only one to take advantage of the winery action, okay? Now, these 2 central ones right here, and again, it's a little hard to see and the graphic design has already changed, but as it is, you'll see the circle, the clockwise circle with a line through it. What that means is these 2 actions are not piggybacked. So if I were to place, say right here, that's the only house that activates. It doesn't matter if there are other ones that are here around the outside doesn't matter. This is the only house that activates, the active player when they placed it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that said, let's go and back this out just a hair there, and we'll go ahead and go over what the different actions are now. So there are three that are all fundamentally the same. We have the winery here, we have the oil press, and the silversmith right here. So these three are all identical. And what they say is, if on my turn, I had access to, say, 3 wine from getting access out here from buildings, et cetera, and this now shows that I have 3 grapes, not wine, sorry. So when I go to the winery, I then turn those 3 grapes into 3 wine. If I had 3 wine, I would turn it now into 3 more wine. If I'd spent a couple and I'm down to 4, I would then move that up 3, et cetera. I would do that once for every one of my houses that is there. So if I had 2 houses and I had 3 grapes, I would actually get 6 wine, okay? You are capped at 12 total maximum. At any given time, anything extra above that is lost, okay? That is the same now for grapes and wine. So the winery, oil and the oil press, and silver ore and the silversmith. All 3 of those buildings work fundamentally the same. So boom, boom, boom. I think we can move on from there. The next building that we're going to talk about is the mason here. The mason allows you to build a city wall piece. When you build a city wall piece, you can build on any one of these available white little dashes out here. Those are spots for the city wall, as you can see there. You can place anywhere where there isn't one wall already placed. So even though nothing's connected to this, I could place right there. However, it would behoove me to place next 2 yellow pieces. The reason being, you get 1 point for the city wall piece that you just placed. So let's say I just placed this city wall piece right here. That has 1 tower and one of my houses adjacent to it. So I'd score 1 for each of those. So 1 for the city wall, 1 for the tower, 1 for the house. Ergo, yellow scores 3 points. Okay, that's the mason. And we're going to, if I placed this one over here, I would score 3 points. Blue would score nothing because the blue is not the active player. Okay, so after that, we would then, if I placed a building, say, right here, I would build a city wall for that. I would build another city wall for that. Red would build a city wall for that, and that would be it for the mason. Any question on that? Okay, moving on. Then over here we have the architect. The architect is where you're going to be allowed to build towers. And these towers, as I mentioned, go onto these odd-shaped pieces that border the city wall spots. The placement of these can straddle existing houses of any player or go in a house space without a house. So I could place it, say, here if I want, or I could place it on top of Blue's house right there, so on and so forth, okay? I'll explain the purpose of that here in a little bit. It's going to help with scoring the city wall for endgame victory points, okay? All right, any questions on the architect?
No.
All right, let's zoom out just a hair. There we go. So now the fishmonger down here, you get to mong fish, or score a victory point for every 2 fish that you have. It is important to note that to be able to go there, you must have a minimum of 2 fish. At the end of going to a location around the fishmonger, you must have at least 2 fish. You score 1 victory point for every 2 fish you have. In this case, I would score 1 point, round down, not in your favor. That's the fishmonger. Next, we have the market. The market is where you're going to be allowed to purchase ships with commodities. So we have the market here. So the market has the base cost on the board, which now we need to zoom back out all the way. There we go. At the very bottom down here, you have the market for the ship cards. The base cost is on the board. So for instance, to be able to buy this high value ship, it would cost me to oil in commodities. You're purchasing with commodities, okay? So, in addition to that, you may have an additional cost that is on the card. So in this case, it would cost me 2 oil and 1 silver in which to purchase this ship. So if that were the case, 2 oil, I would drop that down from 3 to 1, and 1 silver, I would drop that down from 2 to 1 as well there. Then at that point, I would take this card. This shows that the effect is the oil value, or the value of oil, drops 1. And then over on my tableau, I would add this over here to my tableau. I would immediately score 5 victory points for yellow, for the stars, and then just let it hang out for potential in-game scoring. Okay? After that, we're going to slide any remaining ships to the left. Then here, we're going to adjust whatever the next card is. So in this case, we would adjust the oil, coincidentally, back up 1, and then we would flip this card and it would come into play, ready for the next player. And just like all the others, these would activate in clockwise order, and it's always a voluntary action in which to purchase ships. Okay? Any questions about the market? Cool.
Nope.
Moving on. Then we're going to talk about the wharf. I know, we just talked about ships, but work with me. The wharf actually has to do with the commodities market up top. One commodity of one type for the shown victory point. So wherever the glass bead is, so for instance, if I wanted to sell silver, I could sell silver for 2 victory points. I must have the commodity. I can sell one commodity of one type. I can't sell all of my silver. I can sell one of one thing, and that's it. And immediately score the victory points and drop the value, or drop the number of commodities that I have. However, nothing happens on the board here as far as the commodity market up there. Nothing changes. Nothing gets added. Nothing changes whatsoever. So that is all of the outside buildings now. All of the above actions trigger other players' or all players' houses there in clockwise order after you have placed the house. The next 2 do not. The last 2 to talk about are the Rector's Palace here. This is the only place to get more in-game cards. You're going to draw 2 cards and keep 1, discard 1. Everyone's going to start with 3 of these. These are going to be some sort of in-game bonus. At the beginning of the game, everybody starts with 3 of these. They're going to discard 2 of them, keep 1 secret, and then the only other place to be able to get more is going to the Rector's Palace. Draw 2, discard 1 to the bottom of the deck. And again, these do not activate the other houses going around. The last thing is the cathedral. Build a house next to the cathedral, nothing happens. Literally nothing happens till the end game. All it is end game points. It's going to allow the selling of 1 complete set of commodities per house at the end of the game at the current market value, and you can only sell a full set. Partial sets cannot be sold. So if this were something like this, and I had, let's say, 2 houses out here on the cathedral at the end of the game, that would allow me the selling of 2 complete sets. However, you'll notice that I only have 1 full complete set here. Alas, I can only sell 1 complete set. The price that I would get is 2, 2, and 2. That's 6 points per full set. I can only sell 1, and that's that. Okay? These do not get moved when you sell those at the end of the game because you can double dip for bonus scoring cards. Only thing left to talk about before we get to the end of the game is the fish exchange. Turn in 2 fish for a wood, an olive oil, or a grape. Turn in 3 fish for a stone, 4 fish for a silver ore. You can do this at any moment in the game, even on other players' turns, so that you can activate. When they activate, say red placed here, it comes back around. Maybe I want to do something before it becomes mine. I can be like, oh, hold on 1 second. Let me go ahead and discard 2 of these fish. Again, this is the only resource in which you're going to do this with. And maybe I say, you know what, I'm going to give myself 1 more wood for whatever reason, etc. Okay? Cool. So, endgame scoring. Let's go and talk about scoring the city wall first off. It's the longest uninterrupted stretch of wall. Gaps of houses or towers are okay. Gaps of city walls are not okay. So let me go ahead and take that out there. You're going to score 1 victory point for each wall segment and 1 victory point for each of that player's pieces in that stretch. And they can overlap other players if one player has a house and the other player has a tower on top of it. So taking a look at the example up here, you'll notice, let's say blue. What is their longest stretch? Well, blue has 1 city wall here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces total. They would score 5 victory points because they don't have anything else out here. Yellow, on the other hand, say it were like this. Yellow has 1, 2, 3 points potentially for that. Or yellow also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the house as well, 8, 9, 10 for the tower, 11, 12. Even though it's a red house and a blue house, it does not break it because there are towers. It's not a broken streak. If that were gone, then it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So 3 here, 8, which is higher, 8. Yellow would score 8 points for the city wall. Then players are going to score for the cathedral. Again, that's 1 full set per house that's out here. I've already covered that. And then victory points from any bonus card. The most you can ever gain from a single bonus card is 12 points. Whoever has the most points wins. And that is Ragusa. Any questions?
No.
None at all.
Okay,
Yes, we can.
awesome. All right. Any in the peanut gallery that you guys saw?
I didn't see any, no.
No, nothing that wasn't.
Okay, awesome. That works out. And yes, the game does have yellow, and no, I am not playing yellow. Why? Because we do not have the fish yellow card, so I figure I'd just use that for the...
It occurred to me we should have not said why you were not playing yellow and invited the peanut gallery to come up with reasons.
No.
I have
Changes.
failed myself.
Why is he not playing yellow?
Right.
Shameful.
It's the seat change.
You're right.
Everything's-
Throwing everybody
It's
off.
happening.
I understand. All right. Cool. All right. So that said, everyone...
I blame the bananas.
Yes. Or the apples. One or the other.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. All right. So we need a randomized turn order, if you would, Mark. Oh, wait. Hold on. Martin comes prepared.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Come prepared, yes.
Everybody. Who's it going to be? Oh.
All right.
Blacks first. So everybody should be at 0 to begin with. We have already adjusted the market at the beginning of the game based on what's on the back of the cards here. And that is where the market started there. So everybody at the beginning of the game needs to go ahead and choose one of their goal cards. I could have used the Blackfish card, but I wanted it to look appropriate, Lewis, so... Oh, boy. I am not good with any of these, so I'm going... Don't look at the screen. I'm going to choose that one to start. There we go. And everything else will get shuffled up. Martin, you're going to be in charge of shuffling every day. Shuffling. And those. All right, so everybody's got their goal card.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Rabbi, you should be able to pick up the game from the actual teach. All right? Or from the actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Pick up the game. Oof,
Or Chipmunk,
words.
come on.
Or
Chipmunk's so
Chipmunk.
fun.
There's that. Oh, I suppose I had to bring up the chat and everything,
Yes.
the cameras. So, geez, are you new, Edward? There we go. Hey, welcome back.
Yay.
All right.
Hello. What a photo card
Wow,
all
that was
over the
way
place.
longer than the teach should have been. I'm sorry, guys. I have failed you guys tonight.
No.
What was that
What would be
app?
the first time? Wait, what?
Twazi.
Oh, what was the... Oh, somebody...
Overboard Games
first
got
player.
it. I was
Cool.
first player.
Okay, cool. All right.
Don't worry about the teach being too long because it's
It's thorough.
the right
It's very
length for
thorough.
what it needs to be.
Right, and the game should take us about an hour, call it an hour 15 with the stream. Marking it at 7:45. Game on, here we go. So,
Yep.
everybody places one house, houses in order, so 10 rounds. I'm going to place my first house.
Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I will place up here, which is going to be 1 wood, 1 silver ore, and 1 stone. At the completion of that, do I have at least 1 wood? I do. And you'll also notice, one other thing I wanted to show everybody actually, is on the building resource cards here, that it shows in a given hex how many you can build. So stone and wood have these symbols. So that's kind of nice as a quick little reminder in case you forget. So I have 1 stone, I have 1 silver ore, and I have un wood. Jess, you're up.
I am.
Learn once, play twice. I like that. All right.
So I have 2 wood and a silver ore.
There we go.
Yeah, the ratio is better than Race to the Galaxy, right? It takes you 20 minutes to play and about 2 hours to teach.
Seriously, the iconography is rough on that. All right. Oh, Chwazi has cute sounds. Okay, so there's that. All right.
Alright, wow.
Mark, you're up.
All right, I'll place here. She'll give me 1 wood, 1 stone, 1 grape.
Yep. In fact, must be. You are correct, sir. All right, Martin.
Well, we decided last time that the best spot on the board was the 1 wood, 1 silver, 1 stone, so I'm going to go with it.
Did we decide that?
Yeah, I think we did.
Okay.
At least I did.
All right, okay. Really, the black does it? I can, you know what? I can use yellow pieces if you guys would prefer.
I'm quite happy with black. I think you've got to teach the peanut gallery to be flexible in there.
Is that
Oh,
what
it's
we're
about
doing?
the blending in. Oh,
Yes,
that's about it.
all right.
So I
So
just
all
thought you
right.
were complaining
Blending
about
in.
Edwards being an unconventional colour.
Right.
You know what?
all
You
right,
could
so
use the
5.
black fish card. I'm kind of just a black fish card.
You can
All right.
continue to use the black cards. We're not
There you
gonna-
go, done.
Oh,
And
right
I would
there.
know you're
See?
yellow.
That just resolves
There we go. So it doesn't mess with
everything.
people. There we go. Boom, done. All right.
And can you switch out?
Don't
the-
say we don't
Right.
listen.
Right.
So
How
the need
flexible.
of the herds. Of the
Exactly.
need of the
Herd.
herd.
Yeah.
Right.
The peanuts have spoken.
Do you have enough?
Well, 1 peanut spoken.
That'll work.
Well,
That'll do.
And there we go. These can be thrown back in there, and boom, there we go.
All right.
We
that
now
was
have
painless.
9 houses left. There we go, and a bunch of towers. All right. Ready to go. All right. Now, because I have access to 1 stone, I could start going out here and looking at my end game goal card. I would love to be able to place here. Alas, I cannot. And we have access to 1 wood. This would require 2. So let's go ahead and double up. Will we? Will we?
I think you should.
I think I
You're gonna
should
be
too.
singing
We're
the
going to
song.
do this. So that immediately gives me access to a 2nd wood,
Yes.
a 2nd stone, and now 1 olive oil. But you'll notice that 1 wood, 2 wood, or you'll notice here on my player board it shows 2 wood. There are 2 in this hex. That is legal because at the end of my placement I have access to at least 2 wood. All right, cool. And the other thing to drive home, it's not cumulative. Because in the heavy cardboard variant that we played wrong, i.e. we just butchered the first game, we thought it was cumulative. And we were like, wow,
Ew.
this is really hard to place houses later on in the game. Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
Okay. I'm going to go here. I already have 2 wood, so that is fine. And I'm going to get another silver ore, a stone, and some olives.
I'm sorry, what was that, Eric? You said something, but I couldn't read it. What was that? Sorry. Mark?
I'm so excited. Who knows what I'll do?
And it's not Team Jess, by the way.
Oh, right.
It's J-Rex.
Rabbi, there's a new nickname.
Yeah, J-Rex.
J-Rex?
Yeah. Jess. Tyrannosaurus Rex,
Yeah,
right? Big
I
head,
have.
little arms.
I
She has
don't
short
have.
arms. So there we go.
Oh, okay.
You're saying you have a
Wood,
big head.
olives, and fish.
Some things need to be unsaid, but unfortunately they're captured on video.
Hey, you're the one who barely fit the Santa hat
Oh,
today.
hey, Dominic's here. We can start over. Okay,
Dominic.
so in Ragusa. What's up, Dominic? Welcome. All right.
Well, I'm going to make an early play into the city.
All right. I considered it.
I have 1 stone, I have 1 wood, so I can pick a boundary spot like that. So that will give me 1 olive tree, not olive oil, 1 grapes,
I don't know what you guys are talking
and
about. It
an
says yellow
initial
at the
place of a bit of
Ooh,
wall.
we have a wall.
A bit of wall. Where will I put it?
And remember, it can be anywhere on the
I
outside,
know, but I'm
it
going to put it right next to me and take an early lead.
There we go, 2 points. Martin, running away with the game. Here we go. All right, well, I have access now to 2 stone, which allows me a little flexibility. I only have 1 silver. I like silver. Let's get some more silver. Again, I would love to be able to place here, but I cannot because that would cost me 3 wood. I should have placed this here. I don't know.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, seriously, right? But I will go ahead and go right there. So I have access to 2 wood, so we're good. So 2 in this hex, we're good to go there. So that's going to boost up my silver ore by 1, and it's going to add 1 more olive oil and 1, or I'm sorry, not olive oil, but olives and 1 grappa. Soon to be grappa, I should say. There we go. I know, right? Seriously, Michael, something about the British accent makes me want to pick Martin. Hell, it makes me want to pick him too. Just sounds smarter than us.
I am a
Americans.
But I
Which
lost
does.
my last 2 games. That's important to remember. So I'm not on a winning streak when it comes to the
There is
streams.
that.
Oh, I don't know what I want to do.
Got someone on my team. I never expected this to happen. Got so
Right?
many people I need to thank.
Thank you for all the support.
You traitor, James. All right. Wow, did anybody pick me?
No,
Hey, Vince, thanks.
they don't do that anymore.
Homer did pick me, but now he feels beholden
Okay.
to go with J-Rex.
I'm going to go here. So, I'll start with the resource that gives me a grape. And then I'll go to the oil press, which, okay, so that moves me up on oil right there. It's easier when they're out. And then mason. So I do mason. I'll take 2.
2 for green. And then we go clockwise around, going to Martin.
You're welcome.
I'll take another 2.
All right. And that is the end of Jess's turn. In the rule book, it says to lay these down, you know, something like that or whatever. We just have been turning
like
them
that.
sideways. So
I like
either or.
laying them down.
All right,
That's
we'll lay
pretty
them
cool.
down.
Let's
Or
do that.
stand them on their end. That would stand out more, I think. Okay, let's do that. All right, cool. Mark, you're up.
Excellent.
Clay, I want to get the costume. Like that blow up one.
Oh, that's
right?
happening.
Right?
That's totally
Yeah.
happening.
I know
That's-
Clay's on board. He's like, of course.
Access to 2 wood, so I should be able to place there, and the 1 stone to place in the architect.
Yep. So 1 olive oil, 1 grape. And the first tower has hit the board, or will momentarily.
Where should it go?
And remember, you score nothing for the towers yet. However, you can straddle other players if you want, or you can go anywhere on the outer edge. Thanks, Homer. Good looking out. Solidarity. All right, boom, done.
There
And
we go.
remember, we also can place in buildings underneath. There are, or houses underneath. There are no other houses around there, so we move on to Martin. And actually, we probably ought to, just to be able
Oh,
to
yeah.
track.
I'm going to go here, which I can't do. Because, of course, it's on that hex.
I'm
and that
gonna
put me
go.
2 woods.
Right.
I planned it. Thought I'm going to make a nice quick turn, show everybody else up for their thinking, and what do? I go and make the balls
Hubris.
up.
That's what we do.
Martin's
Ah.
made the balls up.
See, team
Martin's
bad teacher.
made the balls
You're
up.
right. Lewis says if you back the Kickstarter, you get a nice wooden pointer to show which is the latest house.
Really? Oh,
that?
that's a really great idea,
That's
Lewis.
nice. Yeah, I like that.
Now I want the wooden pointer.
Okay, well, I'm going to go. Well, for demonstration purposes, I will go here, which is the second on the same hex, but that's okay because that now gives me access to 3 wood.
Wow, impressive wood.
And
That did not.
hang on though, this is this giving me access? This is giving me access to 2 stone. I'm trying my best to
Yes.
cover up that bad
No,
joke,
you
which
can't.
is coming right out of the worst of the Settlers of Catan.
If you know me at all, that wasn't a joke. I'm that awkward. That's how awkward I am.
She's right. And in about 20 seconds.
It's your turn.
And I'm just confirming, that does give me 2 stone. Access to 2 stone.
That does, correct. Yep.
This is a very serious game right now.
Serious game.
We absolutely take this very seriously.
We're not having fun at all.
Oh, and you should have your challenge
Yes,
going now,
there we
Mr.
go.
Wood.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Wood. All right. So,
Oh, God.
red looks good on you. Okay.
I
so-
always try to make it a
So
glory to
I
win.
once was told from a wise man that if a game has end-game scoring, you should probably do
Ignore it.
Why would you do that? Yeah, I agree.
So I am going to go ahead and build there at the confluence of Silversmith Cathedral and Rector's Palace. We'll start with the cathedral. Okay, we're done. I'll do the silversmith, convert my silver ore into silver. I have 2 silver ore, ergo I now have 2 silver. And the Rector's Palace, and should point out we would activate everybody at the silversmith. Alas, no one. And the Rector's Palace, this is only one player, the player who placed. I get to choose 2 of these, keep 1, discard the other, and the turn of the yellow player is complete. It's your turn, Miss
Or
Wood.
I have wood, 1 stone. I need stones, not wood.
Go ahead and throw that one up there. All right, cool.
Arg. That's not going to give me what I need.
Hey, welcome, Zergon. If you want, you can always back it up to the beginning and watch the teach at 1.5 or 2 times speed and then catch up to live. Oh, good call. Thank you. And don't forget to lay the house back down proper, as Martin just showed.
It does help.
Okay, I don't mind that. And I'm down there and somebody might go there, so. Yep, okay. I'm gonna
Are
go.
you
I'm
sure?
sure.
All right, stand your
I
house
have
out.
2 wood, so I can do that.
And
Because that
2 wood
hex.
because of that hex
Yeah,
there.
and 1 stone. So
And
I'm
because
fine.
there's nothing else on those. Yep.
So I'm going to take my resource, which is some olives, and then I'll do the silversmith, which benefits you.
Oh, awesome. So I get 2 more silver. We're in the money.
So I get 2.
Architect.
And then architect. So I can put this out. Where do I want to put that? I think I want to go. Let's see.
Yep. And we're gonna here we're gonna drop these down to where you guys can see the house peeking out from the top side of all of these.
I get
And
to
now
do
red gets
architect.
to architect going clockwise around.
Oh boy.
I'll put this down in case you.
There you go.
Can't successfully predict where he's going to place it. What do you think?
Yes. They do.
The symbols in the middle of the ships
Perfect.
potentially will have to do with
Good
any
call.
bonus cards. And here, nobody look at the screen real quick. I will show you. This was one of my other choices. So you can see that that matches some of these ships that are out here. Okay, good. All right, cool.
Good.
All right, whose turn was that?
It was
That
mine.
was green, so now there we go.
Your turn.
All right,
Terrific.
cool. So you see, in theory, early on the games,
Exactly.
the turns go exceptionally quickly normally, and they slow down a little bit as we start getting more and more
It's tighter,
actions
yeah.
in the city.
Because resource management.
Hey,
That was good
Fabio.
timing.
All right, cool, good to know. Says if you tuck the cards under, you can just swap.
I have a couple ideas,
and
but I
bottom.
feel like I should get in on the walls since I've started to put up towers and stuff.
Know this, that if we go all the way around in the Mason, 21 of the 22 wall pieces will be used.
True.
So there will be,
So maybe just let other people take care
you
of it.
could do that, but they will be the ones scoring the points for pieces adjacent to
True.
yours. So like placing a wall here for you would score you 3
3.
points, anyone else 1. So keep that in mind. So Fabio's in chat, designer of the game. What's up, Fabio? Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, why not? Let's
All right.
go there at the wall.
All right. So you have one there, so you have access to one stone. You're good to go. Which of the 3 buildings do you want to activate first?
Cathedral.
All right,
'cause it does
done.
nothing right now.
And then oil press
Let's
or
do
mason?
oil press.
All right.
I've got access to 2 olives, so I make 2 olive oil.
And then going clockwise, Jess, you can get 2 oil.
2 oil, yeah.
And then Mason, go for it.
All right, I get to place a wall.
I feel like we've done an exceptionally good job of not making any wall jokes tonight thus far. Keep it up. Good job.
We'll see.
It's early.
Place there, get 3 points, I
3
believe.
points for red. Yep. Just going to flip it away.
It's
Here we
never
go.
complete. There's always holes in the walls.
Yeah, right. All right,
Yep.
so that is there. Now we go to blue.
And I have got nowhere I can place it that will score me points, which is annoying. But I could be nasty, couldn't I?
I think you should be nasty.
You're right. No, you're
I
right.
could be nasty and stop somebody else from scoring points.
All right, so that is going to be 1 point for blue. And then green gets to place a wall.
Yeah. And that's
Right
2
there,
points.
nice.
2 points green.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
And again, keep in mind these are prototype components, so the greens don't matter. Come on, bear with us. All right, so pass the active
Yes.
player marker, and you don't really need that per se. We just do it to help make sure we're keeping track of everything. That's all.
No, I'm going to slide over to Director's Palace.
All right.
But I will begin. Actually, yeah, do I want that one? Yes, I think I do.
And you have access to 1 stone at least, which you do. You're good to go placing that
Yep.
there.
So, that fires up the silversmith on this track. So I get to make a bit of silver because I've got 1 silver, so I can smelt some silver.
And then green can smelt some silver as well.
Okay. I'm going.
No, you're fine. Nope, silver.
Wrong one.
There you go.
Trying to plan
good.
them.
No, you're fine. And then going clockwise around, it comes back to me, which I get 2 more silver. So I went from 0 to 6 pretty quick. That was
Yeah.
awesome. So that's done here. Okay, now which one?
Now I will do the architect and do some tower building. So I'm going to place. I should have thought exactly where I was going to put this tower, shouldn't I? That would have been the sensible thing for me to do.
Might be sensible.
Exactly. I'm going to go there.
Looks good.
Sure.
I'm fine with this.
Nice kind of pattern. I
We
think.
can.
I didn't realize this was a team game with green and blue over
We're-
here.
we're
helping.
okay with
Very
helping each other.
symbiotic, I've noticed.
Yep.
All right, now red then builds a wall.
Do a tower.
Tower, yes.
Sorry, yep. No, here. No, we're just doing this for the active
Oh,
players.
for-
We're
okay.
good.
Active
No,
player.
you're good. No worries. All right, there.
Just
And
there,
now coming
sure.
around, Jess
Green.
gets to build the tower.
Yeah.
Where's she going to put it?
You know, that's what I'm saying. It's not. Am I gonna go there? No.
4 to 10 houses in, yeah. The first few rounds are definitely very quick.
Yeah,
But
they are.
I can see it's going to slow down in the
It
city.
will, but it's not like it bogs down.
No.
It just slows down a little bit, right?
I know it.
Oh no, sorry. I flinched because there's a wall piece that's bugging me right
Is it
here.
flipped?
Are you wanting this right
Yeah,
here?
yeah. Sorry.
No,
There it
no
is.
worries. All right, so that is the architect
Yeah.
and the silversmith. Now
Now I get to do.
the rector's
The rector
palace.
things.
And
Two
note,
pick-
I do not get to
No.
do this because remember, it's only the active player. So,
I take 2 cards and I choose 1.
all right,
Dum dum dum.
Cool.
That's familiar.
I'm up.
And that's interesting as well. Shoot.
Oh, that's actually not too bad.
Is it?
It really is not bad.
Okay.
So I currently have access to 2 stone, as you guys can see down here, which means I can place in any hex that touches that other one, but I would be then locked down at that point to... I do have silver. You know, that's not a terrible place. So I'm going to go ahead and come over here to the market. Okay, It's driving me nuts. I'm going to mention it. All right. Market and wharf. I feel like the name should be backward or the other way around, because wharf to me has to do with ships and a market has to do with the commodity market. But apparently, we're the only group that has ever had a problem with this. Or at least maybe I'm the only person.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. Let's go ahead.
Vocabulary.
Let's
It's
go
fun.
ahead and
Words are fun.
we'll do the cathedral. Done. All right, the oil press. I will go ahead and produce 2 olive oil there. So red, you get to produce oil. Green, you get to produce oil.
I'll also
Blue,
get 2.
you do not. Oil, Jess?
So too.
All right, perfect. And then the market, we get to actually purchase some cards. So now looking at this, because I just produced oil, I can and I choose to go ahead and purchase this card. It costs me 2 oil and 1 additional silver, which taps out all of my oil and drops 1 silver. However, I'm going to go ahead and score 5 points for yellow, please.
Yes.
Oil, due to the effect down here, says it's going to drop in value in 1. This will come over to my tableau just to hang out for endgame potentially. This will slide over. Silver will move up 1, and we will flip that over. Boom, done. And we have some spices that came out to the market. No one else does that. The turn of the yellow player is complete. There we go. Team Wharf Market swap. And Fabio and Clay explained to me what either Fabio or Lewis, I'm not sure which one, said the idea is at the wharf, you're shipping your commodities overseas. I get that, but
I need a wood, so I'm going there. Taking a wood and a grape and a fish.
go fish. A fish. And because it's out in the countryside, remember, we're so used to doing stuff in the city. In the countryside, nobody gets to do anything because you just get resources, right?
It's a more relaxed culture.
It's a laid-back way of life, right?
All right. So I'm thinking I need another stone so that I can double up some places in the city. And that I should probably also get access to 1 silver because I have placed on the cathedral.
No!
So,
Don't go there. I had to go there just so I could go there. Arr.
This one turn,
Oh, well.
could I? All right.
knowing
Wow,
that you
you're
wanted
so
that makes
upset
me
about that. Yeah.
even happier.
What? Who invited this guy?
I think I invited
I
myself.
was going to say technically himself,
Yeah.
actually, but all right.
That's it.
1 silver ore.
I just
1
camp out
grape,
outside until there's a
1
game to
stone.
play.
Right.
Fine.
And 1 stone, yes.
There we go. And actually, that goes there, and
Yeah,
then
sorry
comes
about that.
there.
No
No
worries.
worries. We're good.
I like to keep the challenge going when I get it.
And
I think it's solid mid-weight treadstone. This is probably about 1 rococo in weight.
so it will take me.
Herd
up
members will
on
get a kick
my
out of that.
Olive and my grape, and my stone will go up by 1. That's good to know it's 1 rococo because I've never played rococo, so it makes it very difficult to evaluate games on the rococo scale.
Right. I would say somewhere between 0.8 to 1 rococos is where
Okay.
I would put this. Okay. Yep. All right. So I am tapped out on stone when it comes to the cathedral. So obviously that means at the end of the game, in a perfect world, I would have at least 2 complete sets. I currently only have silver, so I need to worry about that by the end of the game. And we are now at the halfway point of the game since I started placing my 5th house or 6th house. Now,
Details.
so looking, I only have 1 grape. I don't really feel like placing over here at the cathedral. I'm not worried about stone per se, but I do like the idea of going ahead and getting in on either the wall or the towers. Or I could ship more silver stuff, which means I could go there. And oil? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So I'm actually going to go ahead and be a little selfish
Sure.
over here. So I will go ahead and start with the oil press. And the oil press, because I have 2 houses now, and I have 2 oil, 2 times 2, I actually produce 4 oil. And then red and green each produce once.
Produce 2.
And I produced 2.
All right.
See?
See?
Produce none at all.
Team player. That's what I am, a team player. So that is that. Oh, you know what? I should have gotten a fish as well. I am not
Yes.
the fish guy normally, so
No.
I now have 1 fish.
Sheesh.
And then another market. And I keep forgetting that that gives me access to oil, which now means I can do this, 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 or this. And yeah, I'm cool with that. So I'll go ahead and take the 2 points here. So I will spend 1 of my oil, drop that down. Oil will drop 1 per the board. Score 2 points for yellow. That will come over here. Slide. 1 oil goes back up due to the card. And we have another vase. Porcelain.
Vases.
All right. And D-U-N. Done.
I am going to need some stone. I don't need any wood. So I'm going to go over here.
Lewis says somebody tell Edward it's a competitive game, not a co-op.
Get a stone. Get some grapes. And get an oil.
And you have access to 2 wood.
I do, so I can go there.
Muy bueno. Over to Mark.
I actually needed 3 wood to do that. I'm underneath here.
Oh.
But I have 3 wood.
Because
yeah.
because
I was like,
of
wait,
the
I only
camera, we have
needed-
it pushed. It's a little hard to see under it. Yep.
Yeah.
Good call.
Which is
Yep.
why I didn't hate Mark too much, because I was going to need 3 there.
You'll hate me by the end of this.
Will I? What are you doing now?
I don't know.
It sounded so planned. Like you're like, no,
I'm after
all
your
I'm gonna do is-
expectations are up now.
What did they tell you? Don't go after me. Go after Edward.
Take care, Rabbi. Hope the wife feels better. And Marlon, sorry to hear about the kid. Says 1 positive about a kid having night terrors. I can watch heavy cardboard.
Hi, Marlon.
Hey,
Yeah,
Marlon,
they've
sorry to
had
hear that.
night terrors for a
Well,
while.
I'll drop down there, get
Good news is they'll outgrow
an
it.
additional fish.
Yes.
Fishmonger, I get 1
Yeesh.
point per 2 fish.
There
so
you go.
That's
1 point.
Yeah.
a point.
The
Okay.
first mong.
And then can activate the market, not the wharf. For which I can only afford things that cost oil, so all things being equal, let's get this one.
All right. And oil will drop 1.
Yep.
You got your points. Oil will actually go back up, coincidentally. And we have that. Boom, done. So that is here. Coming around, I get to do 2 of these.
That's probably a mistake.
And I actually need to look at what I bought. I will go ahead and do the first one as well. So I will spend 1 oil to do that. Oil will drop 1 in value. And that will get yellow 2 points for that, please. So that is that one. And now these do refill because they are separate actions. Silver will go up 1 there. And you know what? I like dresses. Let's do it. So I'll drop 1 in oil. And oil will drop 1 more, as you already did. 3 points for yellow. These will slide over. And vino will go up. And there we go. Boom. Done. So that was red. You munged. You took fish. You marketed. You are done, sir. That's the first play.
It's really ridiculous that I've been playing this game so long and I haven't yet made any wine.
Right?
Time to make wine.
I'm with you.
Yay.
Quit
I'm
whining
the only
about
one
it.
who can make it.
Yay!
Seems selfish.
It'll be good stuff. Croatian wine is really good. You don't see Croatian wine outside
Yeah.
of Croatia that I've seen. And when we went to Croatia back last spring, we really enjoyed the local wine.
Really?
So, yeah,
Okay.
Croatia is really good wine.
All right. Good
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah. Wow.
I get
Dubrovnik,
olive oil.
right?
What's
Yeah,
it?
right.
Yep.
That's the Croatian word term for Ragusa.
I've heard Australian wine's pretty good.
I've heard. Hello, Shiraz. Yeah. Well played. Well played. That's funny. All right.
Okay. There's obviously an in-joke going on there, but we'll move to the architect swiftly.
The herd will know.
And a bit of towering will be done.
Oh,
An old
geez.
tower here, I think.
All right. Then red tower.
You get 2 towers.
And no, somebody, one of the
no,
Australian
that's not
patrons
correct.
said, you know what? If you mention Australia every stream, you'll get new patrons. So we've been doing it every time. Hasn't worked yet. But,
Oh, okay.
all right.
Just gonna toss
I think
it
we've been lied
on you
to.
I
there.
think so. So we'll put that, and now green and then blue again.
Where do I want to go? Oh, why are you in my way? Hello there.
I'm in blue again.
Yes.
Over here.
All right.
So
And
the towers.
so winery, you got your grapes. I'm
Yep.
sorry, your olives, and
Yep.
the architect. Boom, done.
Olived up.
All right, and that was blue. First player marker, sir. Hey,
Yep.
Baron. Welcome to finally getting to us live, and thanks for the support. If you guys are enjoying this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to go one step further, you can go to pledgehc.com, support the show there. All right, I'm still at 2 stone. But that was kind of nice. I like being able to buy multiple ships like that. That's the first time I've tried this strategy, and thus far, thus good.
It's not fair, Pete, playing with people who try strategies.
Yeah, my
I
bad.
just
I
rather
know,
have
I'm
wine.
right?
horrible, I know, right?
Didn't know we were playing that way.
Yeah. Not terribly exciting. Oh, that's not stone, though.
It isn't. Rather wooden to be stone.
I would rather, I want to be able to go to one of those 2 spaces, so if you guys could, Jess or Mark, just move, that'd be great. Okay.
I'd love to.
All right.
Sadly, it's against the rules.
It is.
There's
A
nothing
wood,
in the rules.
a grape, and an olive, and the turn of the yellow player is complete.
Is it? There are good options here, but I don't know which one I want. Oh, probably that. But is that okay? 1,
I want to do
2,
everything.
3. That may be okay.
Thank you, Tim, for that. That made me
Nope.
chuckle.
Wait. I need 2 stone. I have 2 stone. That'll be 2. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go here. Oh, we're doing this thing.
Yep.
Sorry,
Tip up.
that's new. So we're doing that. I'll do architect first, and I'll have to go all around in a circle. So I'm going to do that. And then blue, so Martin.
Well, whatever happens, there's no way I'm going to get past there or there, so I might as well just put my towers anywhere.
Find a good, maybe try to, not many people down here.
There's not many people down there. I'm just trying to think, is there anywhere
I
for
just
really
appreciate you guys
inconvenient?
leaving this area
Well,
for yellow.
you're here, so you could start up
I
here
could
again.
start a little thing along there, couldn't I? Yeah, that could be
yeah.
interesting. Although I think this route's going to be more likely to be anything than anything. But who knows? You never
Oh,
know.
wait.
Gotta give it
There's
a
only
try.
one
Oh, I
house
see.
left to be built for towers. There we go.
There you go.
I'll pop on there. That looks like it's
I
fun.
may be able to
Okay,
get that on
so
the board.
Mark,
I
you're
don't
next.
need the rest of my tower.
Place a tower.
I'm just going to
Sure.
move this right here.
That seems rude and encroaching.
It's literally, I have no towers on the board.
Here's some-
It's
You
not-
just
he's
you
not
wanted
gonna get
to
it.
be recognized.
Yeah,
Continue on in
overboard
that
games.
direction.
The HC variant was butcher the
Play it
rules of the
really,
game.
really hard
Yeah.
and need way more resources than
Yeah, I know.
were required. But honestly, hey, we did it, and I'm proud of us for
Mm.
being able to.
So I'll get a second
Pull it up.
placement. I think I'm going to go here, partly because it's kind of keeps company with Red's house, but partly because, and I mentioned this when we played yesterday, there's a really nice
it's
bar.
my turn
just
next.
here.
My turn next.
Oh, sorry.
You don't get to.
I had my whole story there going.
You should go there
Hold on,
just to
you can
fight him.
actually go there for the bar.
I can. Well, no, yes, exactly.
I may go there because
Hey, Cormac.
I want to
Welcome to
get a
have
long
you.
thing. 1,
You think
2,
you're gonna get
3,
that far?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm already here,
Yeah.
so that'd be 9. I should be able to get some more things out. I'm gonna be nice and let you go there.
Well, it's probably a good job because if had you gone there, I would have been nice
Yep.
and gone there.
I know you would have.
I figured that was coming.
So I was saying, there's this really nice bar here. It's just
Excellent.
outside the city walls. You're on the rocks. You're looking out over the Adriatic. It's really good.
Okay.
Do you know the
Recommend it.
name of it?
No, it's the only bar that's outside the city walls on the seaward side, so it's not difficult to spot.
There you
I
go.
suspect it's a rather long wait during heavy tourist season because we were at the beginning of the year. So.
Ah, okay, got it. Pretty though, huh?
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
Lovely view.
Oh, this is not. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Okay, that's what I'm
Discard
doing.
this one.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
People are talking about they wish
winery.
Rococo was in, the
3. So I do 3.
metric for
And
micro.
only Martin's in the winery, so you get to make wine.
More wine.
See, I'm so nice to you,
happy.
Martin.
Again, I didn't realize this was a
Just
team
we're
game
friends,
here,
we're,
right?
you know, being friendly.
All right, done.
All right, I'm
Gotta
done.
enjoy
Thank
the
you for
wine.
passing.
Hey, Robert, what's up, man?
Hey.
Where are you tonight? That dude travels a
A
lot.
lot. More than I do.
Did.
Did.
Because.
Less travel. Well, not less travel. Less little tiny trips.
Right.
I still like to
Drop
travel.
there. I have 2 stone.
I'm
See, my
killing
intention
towers.
there is to go so I can make some silver so I can get that light in the
Sure.
game. But now I put 2 of them there, so now I need 2 silver. Oh well, hopefully someone else will sugar it, or maybe they won't. Anyway, silversmith, I get.
Oh, there is that, right. Well, there's still 2 spots for
Yeah.
the silversmith.
Yeah.
So you're triggering silver. So so everybody produces once for all your silver orbs. I will get 2 more, Jess.
I was
All
just
right.
making sure.
No,
I
you're
have
good.
2, so
Cathedral
2.
done, silversmith,
And then wall.
walls.
Yay,
All right.
walls! I want to put walls in. I'm gonna get one.
Wall there for 3.
And you get to go again.
3 points for
Oh, no,
red.
that was
and
his.
then
Then
blue up
Martin.
next.
Blue is going to go here for 3 points.
Nice.
And green, and then red again.
I'm gonna go right here.
3
For
for green.
3 points.
And rojo.
And here for another 3.
Yep. Well,
Catching up.
yeah, I was going to say I enjoyed my lead while I could. So done, 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 and turn of the red player is complete. Pass.
Over to blue. Well, I think I'm going to be the first person to enjoy the wharf.
That's a great place to go.
I'm just deciding which of the various next door things to go with. I think I'm going to go this way. Go for a fishy wharf.
Okay. Dos fishies.
Yep. Dos
1
fishes.
fish, 2 fish.
2 fish.
And
I may sell something. So I sell silver and I score 3 points.
and if you can't see it on the camera right there, 3 points. And remember, this does not move. Only on this player board does it move. So you're done, good
Yep.
sir? Okay.
Take the baton.
All right. So 8th round. Still only have 2 stone. Right, about that. So what do we have here? You know what? I only have 1 fish, or if you will, 1 fish. So I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I think this is the perfect spot for me to go right now, and that is 2 there on the Rector's Palace. I have 2 stone, so we're good to go there. So I'll go ahead and start with the wharf. Might as well. So the wharf, I will do the exact same silver. I will drop that 3 points for yellow, please. And blue, you can sell 1 thing.
My last silver can go.
3 points for blue. Then the winery, everybody not named Red gets to produce their wine. I'll take 2 wine. And the Rector's Palace, I'll draw 2 cards. And turn of the yellow player is complete. Yes.
That might not be bad. Oh.
All right. My 3rd goal card. There you
What are getting gold cards?
go. We'll see if it pays off, because I'm not going to get squat, really, for the
wall now.
for the wall, hardly. Right now I'm getting 1 point for the wall, I think. Yes.
Oh, that's a tough decision. All right. I'm going to go down here because it seems like a good thing to do.
Booza bar?
Could be.
Buzza?
No,
Okay.
The bar was too good for me to remember what it was called.
Hey, Luke, that's actually, I'm curious about that always, too, why somebody
Okay.
chooses downvotes, but engagement's engagement.
Yeah,
We'll
it
take
works. All right, so I get 2 fish, and then
Mong.
I get to mong some fish, which means I get a point because I have 3 fish.
it. 1 point for green. And remember, at any point, people can convert their fish to, based on that, red.
I also get 1 point for 2
Alright.
fish.
Pass it, please.
Yes, thank you.
So, probably should have gotten here sooner, but I would like to make some wine also. So I get an additional fish.
We haven't been to Dubrovnik. Have you been?
No.
Okay, there you go. So 3/4 of the current players have not
You
been.
have to look forward to it.
So apparently Tony has.
Mm.
Tony
Yeah.
says, I've drank beer and jumped in the sea from there, from the bar.
From the bar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
If that's the same bar.
There's not many bars you could... Well, there's no other bars outside the walls, and if you're going to jump in the sea, I guess that's better than the top of the walls.
Right. That'd be a long drop, I imagine.
Exactly. They're very nice walls to walk around.
So we'll do this, produce wine. I produce 3 of it.
Everybody gets to produce wine
Yeah,
now.
everyone
All
does.
right.
I produced 3.
Truly a co-op. I
couple.
produced 2. Okay.
And then the wharf, where I will sell something for something. I think selling wine for 2 points is my best choice.
And yeah, silver hasn't changed. I'll go ahead. So going from there, I will 3 points for yellow, please.
And you said in-game
And
cards
2
are max
for
12
me.
points, right?
Per card. Correct. Yes.
Just caught myself trying to move the blue score for me, so hopefully I didn't do that earlier.
The peanut gallery would have told you.
I would imagine they would have
Yep.
said something. And I believe that's it.
That's it. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, if everyone's
Yeah.
done the wharf action, then yes. Nice.
I'm going to go with another two fishes and a wharf.
So then it was this one.
Yep.
Not that it really matters the order in this
No.
one, but then red, you can sell 1 good if you wish.
Sell an oil for a whole 1 point.
Woo! Slow down now. And yellow, I will 3 points for yellow.
Yep.
And then blue again.
I'll get 2. It's not good giving Edward points.
I
So
welcome this. And there, you understand that you were giving. I am not taking. I am graciously receiving. All right, we
It's a
are
beautiful
starting
thing.
the penultimate action at this point. All of a sudden, that becomes, So thinking out loud here, there are 2 spots left on the oil press. I'm going to bet that somebody in the next 8 actions is going to do that.
Meh.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Who knows?
I have enough silver, mason, and each of those. That doesn't help me. So my thinking here is I could go for another stone to be able to then get a third possibly in the cathedral, but I have to have 2 fish to be able to do that, which I cannot, so never mind. Okay, so getting more stone doesn't make sense. Or, if nobody goes here and I don't get another stone, then I can't go for the oil press, which means I'm only going to be able to convert 1 of those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the crosses we must bear. And I also can't go to sell more goods there. You know what? I am going to protect myself just in case. I'm going to get 2 more wood and a stone.
All right.
And maybe that's not the optimal move. I'm not quite sure, but I'm okay with it, and it gives me flexibility for the last action. Done. Okay.
These are all good questions.
Hey, is it Cloman? Welcome. Dropping in for the first time. Welcome. All right.
It's gonna give me
True, you could convert it.
And Luke, as I understand it, its interaction is interaction, whether it's upvotes, downvotes, doesn't matter. I mean, it makes me feel better when they're upvotes.
two.
Better to have a frown than indifference.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, indifference is the
Sure.
worst thing, right? Because at least up
would be
or
market.
positive or negative, at least
Stronger.
you're making an impact, right?
Yeah.
So that matters. Yep. CeeLo Man. Okay. Could have gone a few different directions.
I'm gonna go here.
I will try and remember that when you come back.
So, okay, sorry. There. So market.
Fabio points out, don't forget, you can spend 3 fish for a stone. Thanks, Fabio. I have 1 fish. Thanks.
We'll just get one
Appreciate it.
fish.
It's hard to get those, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna do 1 wine for this.
So wine drops 1 in value, 2 points for green. And wine goes back up 1.
And what would
And,
you like?
we are here. Oh, marketing.
You
Okay.
have 2.
I do. Back to back here, huh? So looking at what I have. I have no spices. I really don't want to spend oil. Well, I'm going to produce oil come hell or high water, so I might as well. So I will go ahead and, will anything, that's wine, 2. Yeah, I'm good with that. I will go ahead and take that one for 1 oil, 2 points for yellow.
Yep.
And that dropped. Okay, cool. There, and oil goes back up 1, just coincidental. And then for my second one here, yeah, I have no qualms with this. I will drop 2. Yep, I will drop 2 wine, and wine will drop 1 in value, 3 points for yellow. And wine goes back up 1. There we go. Done.
Riveting.
And go to red for the market.
Boy. Wine or oil, it's all the same, so I'll spend an oil and get these spices.
And oil drops 1.
I get 2 points.
And then wine will raise 2, sorry. Ooh, big value
Nice.
ship for last 5 actions. 6 actions, right? So that was the market. Did you mung already?
No, I did not. So 2 points because I have 3 fish and I have 2 houses there.
2 points for Mong.
And I get
then
1 point for mugging.
the other's just endgame.
Yep, and red gets that, correct. All right, rojo. Thank you, Christopher, for that.
Don't like any of my options.
Oh, that's a good point. So Fabio points out that if I'd played on the market, I could have gained 2 fish and then been able to turn those into the 3rd stone, which then qualifies me to be able to put a 3rd one on the market. Aha! Good call, Fabio.
Yeah.
It's almost like you
thought.
played this or designed it or something. So what time did I say we started? It was at like 43, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
So
yeah.
we're 49 minutes in and we're a turn and a half from the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah.
Said to my favourite opponent, I'll probably be done by 9. So
Favorite.
estimate.
All right, cool. That works out. Yeah, if not, we did something pretty wrong, I think, at this point. Oh, no, I'm just messing. You're fine. That was terrible.
You're fine.
I'm sorry.
Don't listen
No,
to
You're
him.
totally
Don't do
just
that.
I
That's
know.
not
It's his
nice.
first. I am a horrible host.
Yes.
Bad host, Edward.
The worst.
Bad
Do
host.
that.
I am sausage.
If
I'm
he did
bored.
that, it's probably good. Actually, he paid no attention. But
I don't know. Whatever. I'm going there.
You're
No,
fine.
you're totally fine.
You really
it was-
are.
No matter where you chose, I was going to do that. So you got your fish, and do you wish to mong fish or
Sure. Let's
wharf?
long fish. I've got 4, so I get
2
points.
2 points per,
Oh,
and
per.
you have 2, so 4
4
points.
points.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And then the
I
other monger of
have 2
fish.
points. I
Green.
have 3.
All right, and now wharfing.
Go ahead and wharf.
I don't really want to.
You can
sell
actually
it.
do
Don't-
it twice. If you
But I
don't,
could-
it's a may.
I can at least
You
sell the
don't
wine.
have to.
Okay.
At the very least, it'll be worth doing. So, sell
There
the
you go.
wine for 2 points.
All right. And then blue can sell 2.
Yeah, I will do. 1, 2, and that will get me 4 points.
There we go. And I get to do it once, and we're still short. Oh, no, we're not. I will go ahead and drop another silver for 3.
Suppose I might as well, for my second house, sell the other oil for
2.
1 whole point.
Hey,
1
you,
point,
you know
right,
what
the
1
oil.
point's better than?
0
points.
See?
Yeah.
All right, so that's red. Pass it over. And Martin?
I'm going to do exactly the same thing almost.
All right.
So, this time I will also mong. And I will mong for 2 points.
And then each of you get your points for your fish.
2 points, 4 for
And
you.
4.
And 4.
All right.
And then we get a massive amount of wharfing.
You can sell 3 things
So
if
I'll
you
sell
wish.
3 things, which I will. 1, 2, 3. And that will send me up 6.
In blue, you can sell 2 if you wish. I'm sorry, red, you
Yep.
can sell 2 if you
2
wish.
items if you wish.
I mean, this is just selling for endgame value. If I sell them now, it makes no difference.
Right.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. So those for 2 and 3, so 5 total.
5 for red.
5 for red.
And for me, I will sell 1 more silver for 3.
Okay.
All right, final round. Well, I now have 3 stone. And
Oh, I get a rector. I do a rector as well.
oh, you do.
Oh, so you
That
will,
is
yeah.
really important.
Well, it might be.
Well,
Ooh, that's not so bad.
at this point, I can't trust you people to go to oil. Because
so
I'm
bad at
looking,
all.
Jess obviously has no interest in going there. And looking at Mark, he
Nope.
probably doesn't. And Martin is pretty much tapped out on that. So if anybody's gonna, it better be me. So let's go ahead. I will go ahead and put 1 there. Plus it gets me potentially more points. So oil press. So I get to do that 3 times.
Don't forget your 2 fish.
Yeah, good call. So that's actually 3 fish.
Mm.
So before I do that, I will actually go and turn 2 fish into a wine. So I will drop my fish down to 1, add,
For a
To-
grape.
I'm sorry, to oil, which is excessive, I understand, but that's okay. So I now have 4
Olives.
oil, and then 1, 2, 3 times 4. We go from no olive oil to we're heavy in the olive oil market.
Yes,
and we are
you
pegged
are.
Nice.
out.
So,
So-
red, you get your oil from the oil
So
press.
I do.
And
Again,
I get
Team
3
player.
times 1.
All right.
Not for me, you know.
Done. And that my game is over as far as driving
Thank
the
you.
actions. Okay.
I'm going to mason it up over here.
Oh boy.
And that is, I get a grape, and I get olives. And then
Where did you place?
right here, sorry,
Okay.
it's under thing, but I
you're
think
good.
we
No,
can
you're
handle
good.
it.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm going to go here, which is 3 points. I believe.
It is, and I appreciate it as well. Way to be a team player.
I
Thank
like
you.
to be
3 for
nice.
green.
And then Martin goes next.
Indeed. Oh, the obvious spot is here.
2 points for
2
you.
points for that.
And then Jess again.
I'm going to go here for 3.
Also, awesome. I appreciate this. Thank you. And then back-to-back walls for red.
Lucky me.
There you go.
Well, So, place here. And here, each of those will be worth 2.
All right, 4 points for red.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. All right, so that is done, Jess. So, Mark, penultimate action of the game.
Also realizing that my bonus card is better than I thought it was, so let's go there.
All right, 2 fish.
Put it in like that, it looks like a 9 and not a 6.
All right, so you're getting, what is that,
And-
2 wineries actions?
So 6 wine.
And blue, green, everyone else gets 1 winery action. So 2 wine.
And that is going to cap me. Right?
Yeah. Okay, all right, cool. And the final action of the game.
All
Mr.
up to you.
Fowler.
Indeed, it's all up to me. He's got lots of resources. It's not going to be good.
Yes. All right, final action. 2 fish.
You get 2 fish.
And
Now, when can I convert fish into
Any
other
moment.
things? Anytime, including at
Any
the end of
moment.
the game, effectively.
Correct,
So I don't
yes.
have to worry about doing it.
Correct.
Sure.
Right. I have exactly 3 wine.
that
Funny
works
that,
out.
isn't it?
Wine drops 1 in value. Silver will go up
When I get
2
4
in value.
points, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 for that ship.
Red, you may ship. Got 2 wine and a silver for the big ruby.
That's silver.
Oh.
A little short of the silver.
I was told to just ignore silver and maybe
I
that'll be
think
good.
Jess just did a little happy dance.
No, not really.
Anyway, I will buy this.
All right. So 2 points for red. Wine dropped.
Yep.
And silver will go up 2 more.
Jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Ooh. But it's all right, the wharf is full, so
think about
no
things.
one's selling silver anyway.
Just end game. And now, Jess, you may sell if you wish.
You mean buy? Well, yes, I'll buy. All right, I'm going to get rid of the 2 wine and the silver for that.
5 points for green. Wine goes down 1. Oil goes up 2.
About time.
All right, so I get 2 sails that aren't silver. All right, I will go ahead and take care of this one for sure. Well, hold on. Yes, so that will be 2 wine and an oil. Wine will drop 1 in value. Yellow gets 4 points. There. Wine will go up in 1. There. And I think it makes more sense. So cathedral, what are our current values at everything?
2, 1, 4.
3 plus an extra. I don't want to min-max it too much. So I will actually just go ahead and spend something for 2 oil. Go and go with this one. 2 oil, I'll drop that down. Oil drops 1. Take that. And wine goes up 2. And
Did you do wine?
yeah, he did
You
did
put
you
wine
move
up
the
too?
2
Yes,
wine?
we did.
Okay, all right. So that is the end of the game.
Yeah.
So we go into final scoring now. So final scoring, we'll start at the back. So longest stretch of uninterrupted wall. Jess?
So Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Well done.
Solid.
So yeah, checks out. 14, 41. Somebody's closer. All right, so yellow. It's more impressive than it was going to be. So the only place that I even have wall pieces are my houses right there. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be a 5.
Does this block you?
It does.
Okay.
So 5, that puts me there. Blue, what do you got?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All right, 9 puts you at 45. And red?
So what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The house in
Yep.
there. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Does that count?
And
Yes,
16.
16.
16.
Hashtag good teacher. 57. All right,
Wall
so
builder.
there we go.
He knows
All
how to
right.
build his walls.
Only
So,
got one of these though, so
that-
we'll see what happens.
Then we go to the cathedral, which is next. So red, we'll go ahead. We'll start in the front here. So red, you
Well,
can.
I have no silver, so
Oh, no
I get
sets
nothing.
for red. Would you like to sell your set? You don't move
yes.
these. You
Yep.
just
So
score
one
the
set.
points.
You
So
present them. You show you
so
have
that's,
them.
I have them. So 2 plus 1 plus 4. So 7.
So 7 points to 48. I have 2 houses in the cathedral. I have at least 2 of everything. So that'll be, what did we say, 7? So 14 to 55. And then we go into in-game scoring. So, or in-game bonus cards. So blue,
Blue, I've got to show my cards, have I? Well, I get 2 for every olive that I have, and I have 3 of those, so
So
that's 6.
to 51.
Then the card I picked up, almost accidentally, was 2 for every tower, which is kind of handy.
Oh, wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was very nice. I
10
didn't deserve
to
that.
61.
And then for my final trick, I will take these fishes and I will get rid of them and convert them at 3 to 1 into knock my stone up to 5.
And 2 points per stone.
3 points per stone.
However,
15.
That would have been
12
good.
is your max, remember, from any given. So that's going to be a total of 73, and Martin is in the books.
I'm done.
Lady J. Rex?
So because I sold that last silver and I do not have 4 fish, I get 10 for sets.
Okay,
I believe.
10 for that, which puts you at 58.
And then 8 for my grapes, because 4 times
Puts
2.
you at 66, and Jess in the books. And for me, here we go.
oh boy.
All right. So, 2 per wood, 5 wood. That's going to be 10 for yellow to 65. And then 2 points for every different resource ship. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a duplicate. 5, 6 different ships for a total of 12. 77. And then the last one is 1 point for every 2 value ship. So I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 more to 81. And finally, we finish with Mark.
Got 2 points per fish. I've got 6 fish, so that's 12 points.
That would be 12 points to 69.
Nice.
And there we go. So hashtag bad teacher at 81, Martin at 73, Mark at 69, and J. Rex.
Thanks for playing.
Thank you for playing at 66.
And clocked
So,
in at just over an hour.
there you go, an
Wow.
hour and 4 minutes from the time we actually booked it. Real quick, before we go to anything, I need to take care of some business. All right, so welcome to our newest patron, Chris. Cheers. Thanks for the support. So that is Ragusa. So thanks to Capstone Games again and Bring Crack for providing us the copy and for sponsoring the playthrough. Clay over at Capstone, thank you for doing that. Thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully we have helped you guys make an informed decision whether or not the game will be a good match for you and your group. That said, check it out over on Kickstarter. One of the mods can go ahead and link to it if possible. That said, yeah, be back tomorrow with the patron drawing. All $5 and up patrons get entered into a drawing wherever you are in the world. We're coming to you for a game day sometime in 2019. I'm excited to see where we're going.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Really excited.
So, again, I'm Edward.
Jess.
Mark?
Martin.
All right, you guys have a wonderful night. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Take care. We'll see you all tomorrow. Good night, everybody.